Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Invictus Racing League here on Twitch, bringing you Season 12, Round 6 action from the Xbox F1 division live from Spielberg at the Austrian Grand Prix. My name is Keiran Wright92, and I am joined, as always, on a Tuesday evening by my broadcast colleague, Dom the Noodle. Good evening, Dom.
Good evening, Keiran. Yes, Spielberg, Austria, the Red Bull Ring, 36 lap race, each lap being 2.68, 3 miles long, equating to 4.3 kilometers. 10 corners, yes, just 10, the bare minimum to be classed as an FIA legal track, with 7 to the right and 3 to the left. Now, with the pace that the drivers are going to be taking around here tonight, there is multiple pit strategy predictions, looking at 1 stops and 2 stops, using all 3 tyres across both. Due to complexity and the amount of different strategies, I'll just give a few, looking at maybe starting on the softs and going to hards, pitting lap 12 to 14 for that one on a 1 stop. Maybe on the mediums if you're starting on the soft. You're going to be looking at about a lap 13, 14, or maybe a 16 to 20, depending on what you're looking at. And then you've got the 2 stops, which are, you start on the softs, you pit lap 10, and then you pit for another set of softs, and then you pit lap 20 to 23 for a set of mediums, and you go to the end. So there's a lot of time to be won and lost in the pit lane, 18 seconds. I mean, doing that twice, 36 seconds, half a minute, with these laps being about double that, you're going to want to take it as fast as you can, so maybe the 1 stop will be seen here as much as possible. So yeah, let's just hope for some good racing, fast laps, and a lot of fast drivers tonight.
Indeed, we always do like a lovely bit of fast racing here in IRL. For those of you who may have missed last week in Monza, it was a slightly wet affair, with the Renault of DJ Danny getting his first win of the season ahead of his Renault teammate Liverpool Ewan, with Farfu picking up P3 for the AlphaTauri team. So moving into week 6, the halfway mark of the season, the current standings are Liverpool Ewan leading the Drivers' Championship by 16 points from his teammate DJ Danny, with Farfu 11 currently sitting in 3rd position. In terms of constructors, that dominant 1-2 finish from the Renault team last week solidified their position in 1st place, currently sitting on a massive 122 points after 5 races, which is insane. 54 points ahead of that AlphaTauri team of Farfu and CJ Allen. It's going to be very interesting. I will touch on that in just a second. With the Williams team of Botch, Gerbil and XHRC, a further 4 points back in 3rd. I say is an interesting thing regarding CJ Allen. Unfortunately, CJ Allen unable to drive this evening. We have at the moment got 4 drivers who are unavailable. Fortunately, we have no CJ Allen, we have no CSR Maitland or St Johnston 02, so unfortunately no Haas drivers this evening, nobody representing the Haas team, and there is no RS F1 Maniac in the Mercedes, as he is taking a slight break from the game. So, Dom, who do you think we need to be looking out for here in Austria?
Here in Austria, track, it's my favourite track, personally, due to the high-speed nature of it. So I'm looking at maybe the top 3 runners here today. DJ Danny, Liverpool Ewan, and Farfu, because they've all got the pace in a straight line and in the corners, which is really what you need for this track. There really isn't much turning at all, so you're really looking at those 3, to be honest. And I mean, Liverpool Ewan being on his 5 consecutive podium finishes so far in a row this season is on an F1 record here, one behind the all-time IRL record of Fairmoto in season 11 in F2 who finished with 6 consecutive podiums. I reckon he could do it again.
That's very, very interesting. I'm just looking up as the driver's ready up. I'm not sure whether you're seeing this, Dom, but I can't see DJ Danny on that list.
I haven't seen him enter the lobby, so I believe we may be missing a message.
Quite possibly. I'm going to go on the assumption that we only have 15 drivers this evening, which means that there's only one Renault. So this is very, very much advantage Liverpool Ewan in the driver's standings now. It has to be, surely. Just having a look.
Yeah, so we've heard from League Admin. He said, unsure on what's happening with Danny, guys. We will be kept informed if we hear anything. So it's a pretty short grid tonight. What we're looking, 16, 17 drivers?
No, less than that. We currently only have 15 active cars on the grid as we go into qualifying here in Austria.
Yeah, these boys are a bit too fast for me. Commentating from behind the boys is slightly embarrassing, should I say. So that will not be happening. To be honest, let's be real here. It's a dry session here. I'm guessing it's going to be a dry session in the race. Just confirming. Now, yeah, dry. So, no real surprise there. We're talking Austria. It's raced in the middle of the summer season over there. You never really get much rain. Maybe a bit of overcast, but I don't think I've ever seen rain in an online lobby. Slightly cloudy in the race, but again, yeah, it shouldn't impact. So we've got 1 driver, 2 drivers, 3 drivers, 4 drivers, 5 drivers, 6 drivers, 7 drivers, 8 drivers all readying out. Got the 2 Williams coming out of their pits now. 9 drivers. So I believe I've counted that right, but we'll wait until that all hits out lap. So 5 currently on track, and 3 have just left, so that's 8 drivers. And there's the 9th.
Slightly cloudy in the race. There we go. Yeah, as Dom did mention, guys, we have been given the confirmation by League admins that it will be a dry race today. Slightly cloudy during the race, but it shouldn't impact anything at all. So we will definitely be looking at those one-stop, mainly those one-stop strategies. You may, as Dom said, get the odd 1 or 2 that try and push that 2-stop. But more than likely you will be seeing these one-stops as we ride on board with James F1 ETC in the sole Mercedes today, as he goes to start his hot lap here in Spielberg at the Austrian Grand Prix. Coming up into turn number 1 now. Getting very, very close on that rumble strip. But that's the... Funnily, that is the ideal line you want to take around this course. We have got a yellow flag, but I think that may possibly just be drivers backing up to give themselves enough space to set hot laps. As James comes down the DRS straight here on his first lap. Nice fair play there by, I believe it was the Ferrari, moving out of the way of James as he comes around through this double left-hander up towards the end of sector 2. 44.1 at the end of sector number 2. Pretty, really strong lap here. We are looking for lap times at around the 1:02 mark. The pole position time from last week was a 1:02.788 by the eventual F1 winner DXT Miles. I will say there is someone in this lobby with winning experience here in Austria. Not sure whether Dom's been doing his homework and can tell us who that is. If not, I will be able to inform you all. Dom, do you know who that driver is that's had that previous win here in Austria when we first had?
Yes, Botch Gerbil won the last time IRL came to Austria in F2, I believe it was. Pretty outstanding result from what I've heard. And I mean, it's always an outstanding result when you manage to pull in a decent result in Austria. But a 1 minute 3:1:36, so that's a pretty fast lap. Just send out a banker lap, I reckon. Like you said, about a 1 minute 2 will be what we're looking for.
I think 1 minute 2 is probably going to be quite easily within sort of the top three's abilities here. So your Liverpool Ewins, your Farfoos, and what should have been your DJ Danny's, but unfortunately,
It's a no-show so far.
we haven't had the ability to watch DJ Danny ride this evening. We've not heard anything yet from DJ Danny. So we do hope everything is okay with Danny. And hope that he can, if he is able to, jump in with us as XHRC puts in a 1:02.908 to move to the top of those timing screens. We are going to ride on board here with Saini just as he finishes off this fast lap here. What is it going to look like as he crosses the line? Comes around the final corner. And it is a 1:04.1 by Saini.
Yeah, I was just watching Liverpool Ewan do his hot lap. He locked up into turn... Well, I say into turn 4. He locked up in turn 4. Too much trail braking. Didn't pay off quite well enough. On this track, you're really looking to keep the brakes as straight as possible. Brake in a straight line, stop as soon as you can before you go into the corner. You don't really want to be braking around the corner too much. It will hinder your lap times. So, hopefully we can pick it up here. In the pace, I do want to see maybe 1 or 2 more people get into that 1 minute 2 mark. But I don't want to see people wasting softs to try it. And as I was going to say previously, it's very easy as well to invalidate a lap time on this track. I've known some really good drivers, really clean drivers invalidate a lap time on this track just by accident, by taking a curb just that bit too much. And the way that the strict rules, the strict corner cutting rules work on this track as well, on this game, sorry. So you'll watch the F1 drivers in real life and you'll try and do it in this game and it's just not quite valid. And the game will shout at you and say, you're not allowed to do that. And you sit there crying because you've invalidated the lap time. But Farfoo's just started his lap, so let's see if he can put himself in front of his rival, Liverpool Ewan.
Yeah, we'll ride on board with Farfoo here. I believe the only person who is on a hot lap.
Yeah, he's just posted a purple purple first sector too.
He has indeed. Moving up through the DRS zone here. Up to turn number... What's this? Turn 5?
Turn 4.
Turn 4.
Yeah, this is turn 5, I believe, and then turn 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Yellow flag here. Could that slow Farfoo down? A couple of drivers off track there. I think that was just them moving out of the way though to enable Farfoo, who was on that hot lap.
Yeah, keyword there. Keyword there was he saw the incident looking in front of him, and he had to unfortunately invalidate his lap time to stop himself from getting into an accident.
Yeah, so that would have been a 1:04.749, which would have been enough for 12th place. But as Dom did say, he did unfortunately have to invalidate his lap, running just that little bit wide. Let's see if Raza is getting ready on his hot lap. Yes, he is just coming up towards the end of his hot lap here. Coming really, really tight around that penultimate corner. A little bit wide, but I think he's got a decent exit on the drive up to the line. 1:03.046. Not as fast as his previous lap. He remains in 3rd place with that 1:03.364. Is there anyone else that you are going to look at in the race?
Yeah, I'm currently just still on board with Farfoo. I know he's going to go for a second run around the block. He's got the option for the low fuel mode anyway, so he's about to post a 1 minute 3:4:20. What a legend. That takes him above his rival, which I said was a possibility by... Oh no, it was a 1:03.1... 419. He's gone above his rival by 1,000th of a second. You wouldn't believe it.
It's going to be very, very interesting now as we look towards the second half of this qualifying session. A massive, massive thanks to all of the people in the Twitch chat joining us this evening. Really, really do appreciate it. I can see some of the regular names in there. Welcome in, guys. I know we've seen a couple of people supporting XHRC. Possibly supporting XHRC just a little bit too much. Did get a little bit of a timeout by our chatbot here on Twitch. XHRC though, with the support of the Twitch chat, currently still on pole position on that provisional pole with a 102.908. We got anyone that is further up on track? I believe possibly Liverpool Ewan could be getting ready to set.
Yeah, he's just posted a 102.973 on his most recent fast lap, so I believe you're going to look at Farfu going back into the pits and just trying to make sure that he just brushes up on any mistakes he made on the previous two, on a fresh set of softs that, you know, Liverpool Ewan did have the advantage on his second lap time.
And as Raza crosses the line, 103.048. Improves a little bit on his time, is enough to keep him in third place. Just trying this. James F1 ETC just on his way out of the pits. Watched Gerbil is just starting a hot lap. Just running up the hill, up to turn 3. As XHRC, as we're watching XHRC's teammate bots Gerbil, XHRC puts in a 102.856, solidifying his place on provisional pole, giving him 11 hundredths of a second over Liverpool Ewan in second. So if you're Ewan, you're definitely looking to come out now and try and see if you can hit another hot lap to try and see if you can get yourself up over there. Oh, Jamie the G in chat. Oh, it's Farfu. I know him. There you go, Jamie. Farfu is in the IRL racing here, my friend. Currently down in P8. Spots Gerbil coming into the pits. He is indeed. Stallion just coming out of the pits. Sharks is in the pits. Farfu is also in the pits, but I would assume will be looking to come out very, very shortly.
Yeah, he's fitted a fresh set of softs.
Crouchy.
I would just like to mention I was on board with XHRC just after he posted that fastest lap time to see if he'd go for another. However, he didn't go for another one. He did almost bin it out of turn 4. He put a bit too much power down whilst under braking, and the back end sort of skidded out on him slightly.
Ooh, 104.298 from El Senedo, enough for P14. So we're going to look who the next car around is. I think that's going to be the Red Bull of Jamie 29X, possibly. No, it'll be Jamie's teammate, IRL Max, who's just starting, possibly starting another hot lap here. 104.1, currently in P12. So this will be where you start to see the guys come back out again. As Dom the Noodle quickly jumps into the Twitch chat just to say hello to the wonderful, wonderful, amazing people that are watching us on Twitch. If you guys are watching on the YouTube channel and you want to come and have a chat with us live whilst we do our thing, myself, Keiran and Dom the Noodle will be here every Tuesday evening that there is an IRL race. Race starts at 8 PM. live on the Invictus Racing League Twitch channel.
Yeah, talking about every week, that there's a race. There's no race next week, is there, Keiran?
There is not. We take our mid-season break after today's race, so there will be a week off next week. There will be no IRL races, as IRL Max puts in a 103.506, which is enough to put him in P9. Don't crouch. Saney, it is Saney. 0.3 faster on his previous lap. across the line, 103.844, 2.266 faster than his previous lap, enough for P12.
Yeah,
Guys, just coming into the pits now.
so I'm on board with
Go ahead.
Stallion. He's warming up his tyres on his outlap. Or I believe it's an outlap, he must have spun it or something. And he's using a lot of time on the marbles. So the big chunky bits of rubber that have spun off of tyres in a track. And it looks like as the cars go out and spend a bit more time on track, it's heating up the track to the point where these cars. Interesting to see if anyone does try a set of mediums to try and keep the heat down, to stop the tyres from sliding too much and wearing out too fast, because they are going to want them for the race, for sure.
Indeed, indeed they are. Riding on board with Raza here as he starts his hot lap as we move into the last 3.5 minutes here in Austria at the Austrian Grand Prix. As of course, guys, this is Season 12, Round 6 action in the Invictus Racing League. My name is Keiran92, and as always, I am joined by my co-commentator, the wonderful Dom the Noodle. Every time there is an IRL race, you will hear our voices on a Tuesday evening, as XHRC posts potentially a new, in fact, I can confirm, that is a new fastest qualifying lap time here in Austria, a 1:02.711, breaking the previous record of DXT miles set when we last came to Austria, a 1:02.788. Raza there, remaining in P3. We have a Jamie. No, it's not Jamie, sorry, my mistake. It is Matt. No, it's not Matt. Who's that on a hot lap coming up to turn 4?
Turn 4, that would be the...
sorry, no, turn 3
turn
even.
3.
Just behind Raza. Let's have a look at... Is it Farfu?
It's a Farfu.
It is a wild Farfu coming through Sector 2. I think he may have been stuck
There you
a
go.
little bit behind, a little bit of traffic there.
It is our first retirement of the session. That means that one of the many drivers in this race has decided that they are going to keep the rest of their tyres for race day. I have just checked the Twitch chat real quick as well, and Bearmoto himself has got a really good point. There is a closely matched grid tonight, apart from a few drivers who have just really kicked it up a notch and just full send. I mean, it's very close. These are lap times that you'd expect some of the professionals to be pulling in.
Indeed, indeed. We've got quite a few guys that are on outlaps at the moment, so we will ride on board with Botch Gerbil. 10th up on his previous lap. XHRC feeling he's done everything he can in this session, to possibly preserve those tyres just that little bit more. Currently are sitting on pole position, but I will say that Renault of Liverpool Ewan is currently on an outlap on a fresh set of hard tyres.
Yeah, 38 seconds to get around to the start line. He should do it as long as he puts his mind to it, and doesn't waste tyres. He does have Farfu in front of him, who has given up on his lap. He's got too little fuel in the car left, and he's just going to take it back to the pits, retire the car. There just isn't enough time at this point. Unlucky, mate. And time to give it everything in race, eh?
As Botch Gerbil comes around the final corner on the drive up to the line, it's a 1:05.1, nearly 2 seconds slower than what he's previously done. As we get into the final few seconds here of this qualifying session, did Liverpool Ewan get across the line? He did indeed get across the line. We will quickly run down and watch Sir Sharks as he crosses the line. 1:03.1. I think that may have possibly been an invalidated lap time, because it is still showing a 1:03.351 on the timing screens. I will leave Dom to go and have a quick look and just confirm whether that was indeed an invalidation.
For who, sir?
The Sharks, please, my friend. As James F1 moves himself into second place with 102.876. Where it gets crazy towards the end of a qualifying session. Is Botch Gerbil going to set another fastest lap? He's going to try and see if he can set another fast lap. Botch Gerbil crosses the line 103.098, puts himself
102.703.
There it is. Botch Gerbil moves up into fifth. Liverpool Ewan 102.703 is enough for that pole position.
Congratulations, mate. And to XHRC, who have both posted, I believe, IRL Xbox League records tonight at Austria.
They have indeed. They have indeed, my friend.
I would also like to point out that yes, that lap time by Sir Sharks was invalidated, and he just didn't have enough fuel, so he just said no.
That's fair enough. So Liverpool Ewan there. Liverpool Ewan 02, our pole sitter, 8/1000ths of a second ahead of XHRC in that Williams. James F1 ETC takes the third place on the grid behind Raza. Botch Gerbil makes it 2 Williamses in that top 5. Jamie 29X in the Red Bull P6. Farfu in the AlphaTauri P7. Stallion is P8. Sir Sharks P9. And IRL Matt 21 rounds off the top 10. Continuing on down the grid, we had Nation, then HRX, El Sineo, Saini, Don Crouchy, and Mufasta.
Yeah, I believe that's an IRL complete over sort of cross-platform, record that with an 8/1000th of a second gap for pole position. I can't quite confirm, and I will need someone from the admin to confirm that for me, but if I'm not mistaken, that is the record for the closest lap time on race day.
So we've just had a word through the admins at our end at IRL, informing all the drivers not to ready up yet. So I think they're just trying to potentially get one last chance to see if they can get DJ Danny involved in the session. Don't think you've heard anything yet in terms of where Danny's been, Dom?
No, not yet, unfortunately. Absolutely no radio communication there, Paul.
So, whilst we are getting the drivers ready to line up on the grid, I will take the quick opportunity now to promote the other IRL Invictus Racing League races that we have throughout a week. IRL stream Monday to Thursday, every single day of the week, either here on Twitch or over on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/InvictusRL. On a Monday evening at 8 PM, it is Gareth and Sab with the PS F1 League. Tuesday nights, alongside us here on Twitch, there is Malc and Nitrogash hosting the PlayStation F2 League. On a Wednesday evening, it is the PC F1 League being streamed by JCol and Dan over on the YouTube channel. And Thursdays is the big one. It's the Realistic Performance League. On the YouTube channel, you have got Tim and Malc hosting the PlayStation. And right here on the Twitch channel, you have got our very, very good broadcast colleague and good friend Andrew, along with Mr. Dom the Noodle, hosting on the Xbox side of things. So we're still looking for some of the ready ups to happen, waiting for the all clear from the league admins. I will just bring your attention, Dom, to another one of the records that we have here in IRL. Danny had the chance to continue his streak of 28 consecutive IRL Xbox F1 races. Unfortunately, still yet to hear from Danny, so we do hope everything is okay. Danny, if you are watching, you are in our thoughts, and I hope everything is alright with you, bud. But I want to bring your attention to IRL Matt, Dom, making his 40th IRL Xbox start. 40 races in IRL on Xbox. That is the all-time record.
Yeah, 40 races in a row. Well, not 40 races in a row, but 40 races. I mean, that's commitment. That's commitment to a league. That is. I don't think I've seen many people do that. Especially when the leagues are set up to 12 races per calendar and then a break. But I mean, congratulations, Mats, for 40. Let's hope you can make that many more.
Indeed, indeed. As you can see, guys, on screen, the cars are now starting to ready up as we get ready for our formation lap here in Austria. This is, of course, IRL Xbox F1 action from round 6 of season 12. Just to get everything ready, I'll just let Dom do a little bit of talking as to who he's going to be looking out for in the race and what could be going through some of these drivers' minds, Dom.
Yeah, so I'm going to look at, to be honest, IRL Mats off the start. He looks very fast around this track. He didn't post the fastest lap time, but he does look like he knows the track. So I'll be watching him. He's been pretty clean into most first corners as well all season. So yeah, fingers crossed he can get a good start. But I mean, at this point in the race, you know, you're warming up your tyres, you're just getting yourself in the zone. Predicted pit stop strategy has just come up at one stop for most people. So yeah, at this point you're warming up your tyres, you know you're about to be flat out, almost no stopping for the whole race. So yeah, you're preparing yourself, you're making sure that, you know, your drink is still full and you know you've got the ability to sort of replay the track in your head just that one last time, because like I said, it's going to be flat out for the next, I mean, what, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So yeah, fingers crossed these boys can make it entertainable for you guys. I believe that's a word. I'm not too good at English, so I believe that's the word. But yeah, hopefully these guys can entertain you guys for another 45 minutes to an hour, and let's see if we can break some records.
Indeed, indeed. As you can see, guys, the top 10 all on the soft tyres. Obviously, that's what they qualified on. Everyone from 11th down to 15th. The other 5 cars here on the grid deciding to go on to that, going on to that yellow, that medium tyre.
Yeah, I have just realised that. Very strange to go on to a medium tyre, but we'll see if it fares out well right now.
Here we go, 5 red lights are up and out, and away we go here in Austria. Watching the very good start from XHRC. He's going to take that inside line against Liverpool Ewan. Gets his nose just in front, up into turn 1. Pushes Liverpool Ewan just a little bit wide, but on the outside of inside of XHRC. Having to defend from James as we're going up to turn 3 here. And James gets Ewan. He gets Ewan under braking into turn 3. And XHRC, absolutely blistering start. And down in third, Dom.
Yeah, a bit of a mix-up here. I mean, Farfu's dropped a few places as well. Mats has dropped a few places. So it's really mixed up here. I'm at this point in the race, if I was any of these drivers, I would not be happy with that start. It was slow. Yes, you had to wait a bit for the lights to go out, but it was slow. It didn't an F1 start.
Indeed, got a little bit of a battle here between Botched, Gerbil, Stallion and Farfu here towards the middle of the pack. 109.054 opening lap from XHRC, which is what you like to see. As for some reason we have a steward waving a blue flag. I'm not quite sure why we've got one of the race stewards waving a blue flag, but we did. We're just going to let I will say, guys, don't pay too much attention to the driver standings on the left hand side of the screen. It is a known glitch in the Formula 1 game that it takes a couple of laps for them to sort themselves out. I think now we have finally got everything back to normal as we are riding with Botched Gerbil, who is very much trying to stick to the back of that Red Bull of Jamie29X, trying to see if he can get that 6th place Are there any battles that you are seeing possibly further back in the grid, Dom, that you think we should put on screen?
Yes, the following three cars, Farfu, Stallion, and IRL Matt. I've said it before, Farfu was probably the best driver on the grid, and he proved just that into turn 4 just now. Very late on the brakes, dragged that front right tyre for a bit longer than you need to, or than you want to, and undercut Stallion into turn 4 and around turn 4, and made it look so perfect with so much ease. As they've all got DRS going up into turn 2, past turn 2, into turn 3, which, let's be honest, turn 2 isn't a turn. Can we just talk about this for a second, whilst the racing's going on? Turn 2. It's not really a turn. The owners of the track made it a turn to allow the FIA to certify it as an FIA legal track, because of the fact that an FIA track needs to have a minimum of 10 turns. So, I personally don't believe that that is and we just watched Nathan HRX maybe pick up a warning? As Raza picks up a time penalty, 3-second multiple warning. By the looks of it, it was into turn 9, I believe. So, yeah, watch for time penalties now. Like I said, this track is not very nice for the track limits, as, like I said, most drivers here have got DRS. So, Saney picking up a 3-second time penalty in turn 1 as well. Let's hope and pray these guys aren't picking up many. It's not something you want to be doing.
No, we are currently watching an absolute ding-dong battle here, back and forth between Liverpool Ewan and James F1 ETC. James just getting the better of Liverpool Ewan here, but Ewan is going to try and see if he can come back here in Sector 2. Liverpool Ewan really trying to push the most out of this Renault. See if he can not only get past James, but then catch up to XHRC, who has seemed to absolutely fly away here. 1.8 second lead here over James, which most importantly, with that 0.3 gap between James and Ewan, as we are going to come down the straight here, Ewan is going to get DRS on James. Is he going to be close enough to make a move up into turn 1? He's just going to hug the rear wing and try to see if he can get it here up onto the run to turn number 3. James defending very, very well though. Is he going to lose it under braking? He's going to push Ewan out to the outside. Easy move there by James. James just keeps it there. And Ewan has unfortunately dropped back just a little bit more. Now 2.5 seconds separating Ewan and our current race leader XHRC. If you're Liverpool Ewan, Dom, are you trying to get past James as quickly as you can here?
No. You're on a set softs that you've used in qualifying. Try and stay behind him for as long as possible. Try and keep that, try and keep the drag so your tyres aren't wasting away as fast as the car in front. Remember, he's got to use everything. He's got to cut the air in front of him. And seeing as he's in XHRC's dirty air, he's having to fight through air that is, like I said, dirty. So his tyres are giving everything 110% at the moment, whereas Liverpool Ewan, being in that clean air, being in that clean drag, is going to be loving it. Those tyres are going to be wearing away at a fraction of what James F1's are, and you might find that he can go that extra lap and have it as a fast lap too. It might not create the fastest lap of the race, but it might be fast enough to pick up an extra lap and maybe stop the undercut from being worth much.
Sorry, Dom, I'm just going to quickly cut in front of you here. There was a little bit of contact there between Ewan and James. We were riding on board with Ewan at the time. Don't think there's much, but just possibly James trying to just make sure that Ewan runs that a little bit wider out of turn 3, which is why James has been able to make this 0.6 gap now between himself and Ewan. But anyone else further down the grid that you are seeing? Maybe Farfu?
Yeah, Farfu and Jamie are having a nice little fight there. It's been going on for a while, and I think this could go to the end, these two. Saney's already stopped for a set of hards. Unfortunately, he had front wing damage, right end plate had gone. But yeah, I think drivers at this point are just pushing too much, so they're really putting on the time penalties. And I think Farfu has pushed Jamie into a sticky situation now, where I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, if Farfu keeps up like this, he's going to take P5. Based on the fact of all three drivers in front of him have got a 3, and a 6-second time penalty going from bottom to top. So Raz has got 6, Jibble has got 3, and Jamie has got 3 as well. So yeah, he's provisional P5, and he is going to be absolutely loving it.
Indeed, he will. We will quickly just jump back to this Liverpool Ewan James F1 battle, because Liverpool Ewan has been able to bridge that gap. We've got a yellow flag. So slow moving car.
Yeah,
XHRC
has, I can't quite confirm it yet. Yeah, he's lost the front end, lost the back end, sorry, coming out of turn 10, and he's hit the pit wall. He's lost his front left end plate. He is now P8. That leaves the leader of James F1 ETC to be maybe a bit more comfortable with his tyres now, because he's not cutting up that dirty air. He's now making it. But Liverpool Ewan is close enough now to be, you know, just calling it quits with that dirty air and keeping it as clean air. But you'll look at Sir Sharks being the one that'll be caught in the dirty air now. So yeah, like I said, Liverpool Ewan is going to be absolutely loving this. I wish we could see tyre wear percentages in this game as spectators at the moment. Unfortunately, currently we can't, but maybe next game. And I believe Liverpool Ewan has just overtaken James on the main straight into turn 1, and has had it ripped back from him. And to make matters worse, and to add salt to the wound, James has got DRS on Ewan.
Does, but obviously with James taking the lead over Ewan on that straight, it does now mean that Ewan is going to have DRS back on James on the run down to turn 4. Interesting, we were riding on board with XHRC just to see if he just can dip into the pits with that wing damage. He has chosen not to. So obviously he's not thinking that the damage to his wing is affecting him too much. I just want to quickly comment on Stallion and Saney. Dom, those guys down in P14, P15. On the hard tyre, is that going to be them running a one-stop? Will they be looking to run these hard tyres to the end now, or will they have to do another stop?
This track is too hot for a one-stop on this early anyway. You know, you will be looking for that lap 10 to 14 if you're going to go onto the hard tyres, and they've broken every rule when it comes to that. I mean, Stallion might get lucky, but Saney won't at all. He will have to pit for another set of softs, and it'll have to be around maybe lap 30, lap 29. But Liverpool Ewan has taken that P1 back, and James is currently sat with DRS, so it's really going to be a battle of who can defend that corner the best, and it looks like Ewan is going to pull it off. And he does.
Only just though. James very close to the back of Ewan though. These guys are very much back and forth going through. Ooh, Liverpool Ewan runs a little bit wide there. Is James going to try and get him on the inside up into sector 3? James loses control of the car. James has had a little bit of a spin. We have got yellow flags. James has been able to recover the car. He's not lost too many positions. He's currently down in P7. But the most important question, Dom, is there damage to that car?
No, I didn't see him hit anything. It doesn't look like he has hit anything. Just looks like what has happened is Liverpool Ewan has been a bit aggressive into that left-hander of, I believe, turn 7. Well, out of turn 7, sorry, and it's just caused that little bit of an issue. I believe we have a slow-moving HRC. I don't know if he's spun. I don't know what's going on with HRC at the moment. But he doesn't look like he's having a great race so far.
He's he had a very strong qualifying, but has unfortunately slightly fallen off the pace since hitting that pit wall. Just wondering whether that front wing damage that he did end up getting after touching the pit wall there is actually affecting his car slightly more than he thought it was going to.
I cannot say for certain, but I mean, he's gonna have to pit. Everyone's got to pit, but when is he gonna call it quits on those softs and just say the car's not hacking it anymore? Sir Sharks has changed for a set of hards, so he's looking for a one-stop strategy. This is the perfect time if you're gonna go for the hard tyre. Yeah, there you go. XHRC has retired from the session. I'm not quite sure what's happened. He looks like he's retired in the pit lane. Unlucky, mate. Not really much you could have done. But let's just see if James F1 can make his way up through the pack.
Indeed, I will equal what Dom has said. XHRC had a very, very strong qualifying session. Unfortunately, had a little bit of an issue with his car hitting the pit wall. I think it did possibly do him a little bit worse than what he thought, and has decided to retire the car. I will leave Dom to try and see if he can work out what has happened from HRC. Maybe see if we can get a little word from him whilst we are still on air. We are watching this battle here between Nathan HRX and IRL Matt in the car ahead of him. This is a battle for 4th place. The Alfa Romeo versus the Red Bull. Nathan moving up the inside of IRL Matt, making it look very, very simple there. Matt possibly struggling with a little bit of tyre wear in comparison to those medium tyres of Nathan, as Matt comes back on Nathan with DRS. We're in the Albon Hamilton zone. And ooh, little bit feisty there from the two drivers. They were getting a little bit close to each other. But Nathan HRX looks to have potentially won the battle, but has he won the war, Dom? That is the main question.
Yes, for now. Maybe, not sure. So he's on the medium compound tyre, which everyone knows will last longer than the softs, and those softs are going to start to drop off very, very soon. So it's going to be a question of how long can those softs hold out? By the look of the timing board, if there isn't a glitch, and this is to what is spec, you're... I don't know. He's lost a second, so he could have for now. We'll keep an eye on it, but yeah, for now we'll say that he's won the war. But let's be honest, every army goes back to base, they recover, they bring up their numbers, and they come back swinging. And that's all Matt has to do, is put on a fresh set of mediums, and he will catch. Also, I'd like to bring your attention to the fact that the pit wall has now opened for those who are looking for the medium tyres. Liverpool Ewan and Botch Gerbil are both in the pits. Can't confirm what tyres they're on. Yep, Ewan has gone on to that medium compound. Botch Gerbil is going onto the medium compound. Yeah, you're looking at the front runners now going onto the medium compound tyre. It's going to be a lot faster, and maybe James is going to sit there and wonder if that white tyre was even worth it.
Do you think that the decision from James was potentially because of the fact that he'd gone off track and had lost a lot of grip on those tyres?
Yeah, I think it was...
stick it to a one-stop?
I think it was a rash decision. He thought he didn't have the grip that he did. You know, the midsummer sun was heating up the tyres that were already hot from the spin and the gravel. And he's gone for a set of whites. It'll be interesting to see which one's sold out the longest, and whether the one-stop or the two-stop is better. obviously, as you know, I race as well. I have raced, I do race. So I will be watching here, personally, to see what strategy seems like the best strategy. As Farfu comes into the pit lane now, is he going to lose too much time?
I can confirm that Nathan HRX has taken the lead here of the Grand Prix, and most importantly, Liverpool Ewan is ahead of Farfu following the pit stops.
Yeah.
Farfu down in P10 after his pit stops. Liverpool Ewan up in P5.
Yeah.
P4 now, sorry, has taken that move on Sir Sharks.
Yeah, and it looks like James is about to do a move on Ewan, on Farfu, sorry, if possible. I've got a nice telecam action shot of it too, and it's looking really good down there. The undercut, I knew the undercut was strong in Austria, but I didn't know how strong. And now it's clearly 11 positions worth of loss strong. So yeah, maybe Farfu left it too late, but we'll have to see, because the front three have still got a pit, and so does P8. The rest are either on fresh mediums or fresh hards. So this could be a fight. Oh, and there's been an incident.
There has been an incident. We were riding on board with James F1 ETC at the time there. I think it was Don Crouchy on a very worn set of tyres. Don Crouchy just coming back onto track now in that Alfa Romeo.
There are I believe one, two.
Has the full course safety car. Sorry to cut in front of you here, Don. The full course safety car has come out. We have got a safety car here in Austria, meaning all cars will now need to slow down and marry up behind that safety car.
This is going to change.
There we go.
Everything.
The front three are all coming into the pits now. Nathan HRX coming into the pits. El Senedo coming into the pits. Mufasta coming into the pits. This will give Liverpool Ewan the lead of the race. But it will now mean that those guys that are coming into the pits are going to be on fresh tyres till the end, Dom.
Yeah, I would like to say congratulations to those three. You are all big brain geniuses. That was well played. Well played. You have waited out for a safety car, which you couldn't guarantee was coming. And it has played too well into your hands, lads. I've seen 2 teams double stack so far. That's
yeah, but I suppose under a safety car, double stacking isn't that big of an issue. You're not losing that much time under a safety car, because of course everyone is still stuck behind that safety car.
No, and the only 3 people that haven't pitted are Liverpool Ewan, Raza, and Botch Jill. Everyone else, though, for a fresh set of boots, or in some drivers' case, shoes.
Indeed. Liverpool Ewan on a set of 2-lap-old shoes, as we call them, with those medium tyres. Raza on those 6-lap-old hards. Everyone else on a brand new, fresh set of tyres. We were riding on board with Saini just as the cars were coming up to the safety car. Liverpool Ewan has caught the safety car as the rest of the grid is looking to form up behind. Saini, I think, is just possibly going to get out in front of the safety car.
Yeah, he has, and that is a genius move. He had such a bad start. Maybe the softs wasn't the best play. Maybe the mediums were a better play. So I want to know what his race engineer has told him, and why he's told him this. But at the end of the day, Sydney had a bad start. He lost a part of his front wing too early on, and it caused him a slight issue where he did have to pit too early. Now he does have the chance to give everything he's got to catch that safety car and maybe keep with the pack just for a few extra laps.
Indeed, indeed. Whilst these guys are under the safety car, ladies and gents, I will turn your attention to the social medias of the Invictus Racing League. If you are enjoying what you are watching here, guys, and you do want to grab some more IRL racing action, then head over to the YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/InvictusRL. Please follow us on Twitter, InvictusRL, on Instagram, @InvictusRacingLeague. And if you want to get involved in this sort of stuff and potentially sign up to become a driver here in IRL, for next season, InvictusRacingLeague.com place you will need to go.
Yes, talking about YouTube side of us, they are Sector 3 yellow flag, and some of the boys have taken their medium tyres to 20 laps old.
So is that 20 laps off the start, Dom?
20 laps from the start. Some of those boys have taken their medium tyres. That is a long time. It is paying off for some of them.
Play.
So, had we not have seen this safety car, I could have seen some of these drivers doing almost the same thing.
Indeed, indeed, we could have possibly seen some of our drivers do the same thing. But you still have one more chance to be able to see that sort of stuff, Dom, because of course on Thursday you will be commentating on the Realistic Performance League here on Twitch with Andrew, 8 PM start time, just like we are on a Tuesday night. So please guys, if you do like realistic performance racing, Thursday night here on the Twitch channel is the place you need to be to watch Andrew and Dom realistic performance here in Austria.
Yeah, and just to touch on realistic performance, there was a driver last week, I'm not sure if he wants to be named or not, however, he had such an unlucky fortune come his way. Those hards burst on him with 1 lap to go, and it killed his race. How unfortunate that was. I mean, I felt bad, and I know a lot of people almost welled up who are watching, and apparently it hit different for a lot of viewers. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen here this week. But everyone that's out on track now could do everything to the end. So it'll be fun to see Saini on those rads, because I want to see what it's going to be like.
Indeed, safety car has now come down the pit lane. We are about to go green here in Austria. Liverpool Ewing getting that absolutely lightning start, as he can do in that Renault. We are green again here in Austria. Lap 21 of 36 here at the Austrian Grand Prix in the Invictus Racing League Xbox F1 League. Liverpool Ewing is your leader. Raza 410 behind him in second on those hard tyres. Bot Gerbil for the Williams team in third. Do you think, Dom, that those hard tyres are going to fall off before the end of this race, or with 15 or so laps to go should be enough to get them through to the end?
Raza's going to get lucky. The safety car came out at the right time. He spent the right amount of time behind that safety car, as did many other drivers. So yeah, I could see almost everyone, if not everyone, going to the end on these tyres.
Ooh, sorry to quickly cut in front of you here. We have had a bit of an incident here between Mufasta and Jamie29X. I think Jamie has suffered a bit of wing damage. In fact, both cars, I believe, have suffered wing damage. We'll just quickly look at Jamie's car.
Jamie has.
Yeah, I can confirm. It is a right end plate for Jamie, left end plate for Mufasta. Both of these cars are going to have to come into the pits now. Jamie getting just that little bit closer. Mufasta getting a 5-second penalty in the pit lane, for speeding in the pit lane. It kind of works in Saini's favour here. Saini up to P12 now. After having, I think Saini will possibly agree here, not the best start in Austria, but now on a relatively fresh set of soft tyres, he will be on the fastest tyre come the end of this race. Could we see Saini get points here in Austria, Dom?
Maybe. Jamie's made a mistake. He's gone on to the mediums. and it's going to cost him. He should have gone onto the Reds with 14 laps to go. The red compound was so much of a better option. DRS has now been enabled, so we'll see what that can do, but I don't think these two boys at the back of the grid are going to catch. It's just too far into little of a time slot to do so. But I mean, we've seen drivers do some amazing things. I've seen drivers do some amazing things, and Jamie has just posted a purple second sector. So there's no guarantee that what I said could necessarily stick. They might just catch.
Say, moving yourself up to 11th place with that overtake on Don Croucher. We are riding on board here with James F1 as he goes round the outside of Stallion there into turn 4 on the run up to turns 5 and 6 here. He is very much gaining on Sir Sharks in that McLaren. James wanting to get himself back up into those podium positions where he was earlier on in this race. Liverpool Ewing still leading the race, 2.5 seconds ahead now of Raza 410, with Bots Gerbil just over 2/10 behind in third in that Williams. As I say that, Bots Gerbil has just made an overtake and has taken second place away from Raza, but is now going to come under pressure from the Racing Point driver. Is Raza going to be close enough to catch Bots Gerbil up the straight? Not up the straight. Bear in mind, guys, Raza is on these hard tyres, which will be one more worn and two slower than the mediums of Bots Gerbil.
Just punted Stallion into, and I don't know if he has wing damage from it.
Just looking at Stallion's car now. Stallion is fine. Stallion does not have any news. Mufasa has had a DC. Mufasa has left the session.
Sir Sharks has come out worse in that part. He has lost front left end plate. He will need to pit. And whilst this is going on, talking about pit stops, on the YouTube side of things, there is a safety car with 6 laps to go, and everyone has gone onto the red tyres. So it could have been doable from lap 20 to go onto those. So I'm surprised that not many people did. And they all went for the medium compound. So it'll be interesting to see the difference. Like I said, guys, that is the YouTube side of things. They are currently under a safety car, so if you are going to go over, I'd wait a minute or two just so that that safety car can get itself back into the pits and you can get some racing under your belt. That will be on youtube.com/Invictus Racing League, I believe, Keiran?
InvictusRL is the place you want to be going. youtube.com/InvictusRL if you want to go and see our colleagues on the PlayStation side of things do their thing as well. We are riding on board with a man who is in third place at the moment in the Drivers' Championship in Farfu. Farfu trying to catch up to the back of IRL Mats in the Red Bull. In a little bit of a DRS train, I will say. El Senado, IRL Mats, Farfu, all stuck in each other's DRS. As El Senado has come into the pits, that will move Farfu up to P8 and moving Mats to P7.
Yeah, you'll probably find that El Senado's now figured out that those hard tyres are just too slow on this track, which I have said several times, that they are too slow. He's now changed for a soft compound with 10 laps to go in this race, and I think this DRS train has got Farfu under a bit of a thinking time. It's given him the time to think. He could win this. As long as he can get close enough to P1. He is the only driver on the grid that doesn't have a time penalty. Like I said, he is not only the cleanest driver on the grid, he is one of the fastest. He can make some really, really impressive moves. He's just been caught unlucky. As we get a 105.596 in the race. I'm not sure. I will have to check, but I'm not sure if that's a lap record.
I will leave you to have a little investigate of that, Dom. We are quickly now looking at the penalties on the stream here. Liverpool Ewing and Botch Gerbil, Nathan HRX, James, F1 and Sir Sharks all with, and Move Faster, all on 3 seconds worth of time penalties. IRL Matt, who we're currently riding on board with, and Stallion both with 6 seconds, Raza 410, Saini, Don Crouchy and El Senado with 9 seconds worth of time penalties, and Jamie 29X in the Red Bull with 15 seconds worth of penalties. We did say that the track limits are very, very, very strict here in Austria, and time penalties are most definitely going to play a factor in this race as we move into the final 10 laps. As Dom did mention, we will quickly just go and have a look at the guys at the top of the race. Have a quick look at Liverpool Ewan, who has got a 4.4 second lead over Botch Gerbil, very much in a world of his own. So let's go and have a look. Mufasa is there, stuck in a little bit of traffic in P14. It's not too bad. Botch Gerbil is our second place driver at the moment, with a 2.5 second lead over the man that is currently in third, being Raza, on those 16 lap old hard tyres. I'm thinking that he will definitely have to come into the pits soon. El Senado putting the fastest lap of the race, a 1:05.278 in that McLaren, obviously on that fresh set of soft tyres, as Stallion moves ahead of Farfu in P8. Let's go and quickly have a little look at that battle between Farfu and Stallion.
Yeah,
Farfu now really trying to catch up.
I was,
sorry, Dom. Yeah, as you were saying.
I was on that, on board with Farfu at the time, and unfortunately his name doesn't work for it. But if that was someone like Danny, I'd be nicknaming him Dive Bomb Danny for the rest of his life. That was the dirtiest dive bomb I've ever seen. He's just refused to stop into turn 3 until the very, very, very last thousandth of a second, and it's worked for him really well. And it's put Farfu just a bit off his mind now. I believe he's just inside that DRS zone, but it's going to be a minute until he can pick his pace back up. It was disgusting, and it's really shook him.
Yeah, I can imagine. The guys are now starting to come up to some of the lapped cars. They will be coming up. That's why we had the blue flags as the guys were coming up to turn 3. That's why you saw those blue flags there, guys. We've just been told by race directors that there is rain expected in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Now, technically and theoretically speaking, that shouldn't affect us too much here in the race, because we have only got 7 laps to go here in Austria. But if that rain starts falling a little bit earlier, Dom, do you think that might change the way a couple of these drivers drive?
Yeah, it would definitely change the way that these drivers drive, but it's coming off the mountains, and it's not coming off from the north side of the mountains either. It's coming off from the east side of the mountains, which won't affect, because I mean, I've played this game enough. I've raced this track enough to know that the way and how it's going to affect. I don't think it'll drop before lap 35, and if it does start dropping around lap 35, these boys are just gonna stick it out. There's no point in changing the tires over. So yeah, just stick at what you're doing, guys. That would be my advice. You'll be fine. Don't listen to your Jeff, because no one does. It's F1, and Jeff gets on our nerves.
He does indeed. As you can see from race control at the bottom of the screen there, guys. Race control handing out these time penalties like they are free samples at a supermarket. As we see Farfu take that P8 back off of Stallion. But he will not put himself under pressure going up the straight, because of course he has now given DRS back to Stallion in that racing point. Is he going to be able to make anything work?
Wow.
Not into turn 3.
I have just looked at the time penalties. We have got, by the looks of things, 3 3-second time penalties. 1, 2, 3, 3 6-second time penalties. Make that 4 3-second time penalties, not my bad. We have got 3 12-second time penalties, a 15-second time penalty, and an 18-second time penalty. And then there's the god amongst the drivers today who has been able to keep this car between the white lines for the whole race. Farfu, who is not even, by the looks of it, I will just jump into Race Director to confirm it, but I believe he hasn't even had a warning. Oh, my bad, he has. He had a warning.
We are riding.
On lap 3. He's had a few warnings since, but nothing to cause a penalty.
As we watch Farfu slide up the inside of Sir Sharks into turn 3. Farfu's going to get that DRS though on the run down into turn 4. Farfu is going to make that move stick. Farfu up into P7. Yes, Tom?
He didn't use that DRS. It was all ERS and fuel mix. I looked back a few times and his flap didn't open. Neither did Sharks. So one of them had DRS. None of them used it.
Interesting. Could that possibly be the fact that neither driver knew whether they had DRS or not?
Possibly. I mean, we all get the beep in our earphones that we've got that DRS. So it would be very, very weird to see that not come across. But, I mean, it'll be interesting now because Sir Sharks is going to know that he does have that DRS on Farfu, but I don't think it's going to be enough to catch.
Indeed, indeed. We will have a quick look at Sir Sharks as he on that run down to turn 4, this time with that DRS wide open, trying to close up to the back of Farfu. Is he going to look to make a move? Looks to possibly go for a switch, but Farfu, as always, able to keep that car in between those white lines. I have a very, very funny feeling, guys, with about 3.5 laps to go here in Austria, Farfu is going to very much turn his Formula 1 car into a brick wall with Dom.
Yeah, I've seen people turn many things into different things. Flour into bread. People claim Jesus turned water into wine. But Farfu was about to turn this car into a police blockade to stop drivers from getting past him under any circumstance. He is on thin ice with those tyres.
We have got yeah, sorry, Dom. We have got XHRC in chat who is just reminding you he didn't have a warning.
Oh,
XHRC didn't have a warning before, unfortunately, having to retire his car.
Yeah, I will just check. Obviously, it's
serious apologies there, XHRC, my friend.
It's not showing, obviously, that he was obviously out of the race, but I can double check.
Just check. XHRC is in chat. My force feedback died. Didn't know where my traction is. That's the reason why, unfortunately, we've lost XHRC this evening. Force feedback on his wheel decided that it was going to give in. Massive condolences to you there, my friend. You had a very, very good qualifying session, and we were very, very excited to see whether you would have been able to bring it up into the race.
I don't know if it's just my sort of race director telling me different. I'll keep an eye on the racing, but I believe it says that HRD did have 2 warnings on his final lap of the race before he came into the pit lane. But I'm not sure if that's
XHRC has. No, he has said I didn't have a warning until I spun, put it that way. So before the spin he didn't, so it would have probably been the lead up to his retirement. Did I cause SC retired in pits and left in pits? No, you did cause the safety car.
If I'm not
was caused by a few guys further back.
mistaken, it was Don Crouchy that caused it, maybe?
Yep. Fairmoto is in chat and has confirmed no, there was an incident between James, Crouchy and Jamie.
Isn't Fairmoto... No, he drives in realistic, doesn't he?
You're getting your leagues mixed up, Dom. You're getting your leagues mixed
I've
up.
got too many of them,
It's
mate.
Thursday already.
How many of them, mate? Also, I've been needing to use the bathroom since lap 1. But this is
pleased to know, Dom. You'll be pleased to know, Dom, that we are on lap 36, the final lap race. We will go and have a quick look and just see where Liverpool Ewing, our race leader and most probably eventual race winner. Quick look at the penalties just to make sure. He has got a 6 seconds worth of penalties. Botch Gerbil with only 3. If Botch Gerbil can pull some Lando Norris-esque driving here and get within 3 seconds of Liverpool Ewing, he is going to take the win here in Austria. But Liverpool Ewing crosses the line. In terms of on track, Liverpool Ewing is your race winner here. Botch Gerbil finish in second, and James F1 ETC rounds out your podium here in Austria. We will quickly go and watch Farfu as he gets ready to cross the line. With those time penalties, Farfu moves up to P5. We did say that penalties were going to play a massive, massive part in this race. And that just shows it, Dom.
It's
P7 as he crosses the line.
Yeah.
Up to P5. Insane, insane.
Penalties are definitely a one to watch out for, and it's always great when you can pull in some really, really mad positions from it. I mean, I've seen people pull in last to first due to time penalties. It is crazy. Just pushed for 2 of the drivers. Invited 2 of the drivers into the party of the 3 because I forgot who the 3rd one was. My apologies, guys.
Your podium, Dom, is Liverpool Ewing was our race winner. Botch Gerbil was in second, and James F1 ETC has grabbed himself P3. So whichever one out of those 3 that you didn't grab, that would be the
was
man.
James.
Liverpool Ewing is your race winner here in Austria. Botch Gerbil in second place for the Williams team. James F1 ETC for the Mercedes team in third. Nathan HRX Farfu, the only man to finish the race without a penalty, in P5. Raza P6. Sir Sharks in 7th. IRL Mats in 8th. Stallion in 9th. And Don Crouchy rounding off your top 10. Saini, El Senado, Jamie 29X, Move Faster, and unfortunately the DNF of XHRC due to the loss of his forced feedback. We are just getting the guys into the party now. I believe we have been joined by a couple of the drivers. So, as always, as it is on a IRL weekend, I will pass over to Dom for our post-race interviews.
Yes, if you guys could just make sure that your audio is included in the stream as well, that would be amazing. Goes a long way to helping on the stream side of things. And just as I say that, Ewan Jones, Ewan mate, if you could make sure your audio is included, that would be great.
Yeah.
So, Keiran, you want to go from third to first or first to third?
Go from first to third, my friend.
Third to third. So, Ewan, my friend, great race today. Strong qualifying session, strong race, one stop. How were you feeling when that safety car came out?
I'm not sure, to be fair. I knew I'd only just pitted, so I thought it was useless pitting again, so just thought I'd stay out. And yeah, struggled to keep temperatures up a bit, I suppose, but I managed to get a jump on the guys behind me on the restart, and then managed to control the lead from there.
Yeah, I saw you coming around the corner. I didn't know if you were just gonna go full power, if you were gonna do a Valtteri Bottas from Magello. Obviously, P1. At this point, you are just running away with the lead, and if I'm not mistaken, you are now on 5 or 6 consecutive podiums, which is an Xbox League F1 record. How do you feel about that?
Okay, yeah, no, I feel good. Like I've said lots of times, it's not about just the pace as well. I've got to sort of keep it consistent, stay out of trouble, and just play it well strategically, which I think this season I've done well in doing that. So, yeah, to get 6 podiums in a row, obviously I'm happy with, and got to keep on knocking down and doing the best I can.
Yeah, you've run away with the league now, and with such a great race, you've basically solidified it at this point. Week break next week, but how did this race feel for you?
Yeah, felt okay. Quali went well. Just managed to nick pole, only just. Then got a really bad start. My starts are so inconsistent. I either get off well or really badly. So yeah, quite a poor start. Then I was battling with James a lot. HRC, I think was quicker than me, to be fair. I think he would have won if he didn't have issues. But I saw him spin, and then more battles with James. And I saw him spin as well. I don't know if that was down to me or not. I'll have a look. I'll take a look at it. But either way, that was unfortunate because that would have been a nice battle. But yeah, they were my two biggest rivals sort of out of it, I suppose, at that point. And then yeah, just managed to control the lead.
Yeah, we watched both of them spin, and we weren't quite sure if you were the cause of it either. So we'll just have to see over the week when race directors and stuff like that do everything they need to do. So week break now. United States next. 2 weeks to prepare for it. Are you going to spend 2 weeks preparing, or are you just going to spend a week off, nothing F1 related?
Yeah, I think I'll take a bit of time to just relax and just take a break away from it. But yeah, definitely leading up to it, I need to make sure I put the practice in, and so you know I'm all sort of tuned in with the track and strategies and all that.
For sure. Awesome. Congratulations on your race win tonight, mate.
Thank you.
And we will hopefully be hearing from you again in 2 weeks' time.
Cheers.
Now we move on to, I believe it was Botch Jibble who took P2.
Indeed.
First of all, congratulations on second place, mate. You gave it everything. How do you think that race went?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had a bad qualifying. Started 6th or 7th, I think, and then climbed my way back up before the first pit stop, and then safety car came out, and I almost spun off the restart, and then it took me a couple laps to get past the racing point in P2, and then by that time, the Renault was way too far ahead for me to catch up, and I was losing pace at the end, but luckily I was able to just hold on to that P2.
Yeah, there was time penalties here, there, everywhere. Did you think for a split second that your time penalty could have dropped you on the leaderboard?
I got up pretty early on, and I was pretty mad at myself because I got time penalty within the first 9 laps, I think. But then I thought I was gonna get another one, but luckily I held it all race, and then I started seeing other people getting them, so I wasn't really too worried about time penalties at the end.
Yeah, there was a lot of time penalties out and about. Like I said to Liverpool Ewan down the bottom there. Circuit of the America next. You've got 2 weeks to prepare for it. Are you going to spend those 2 weeks preparing for it, or are you going to do the same as Ewan and take a week off? Prepare yourself over a week's time. Just take a week to just reflect on how far you've got so far.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put some practice in. Now that the real season's starting up, I might take some more time off. But no, I'll definitely be practicing, getting ready. USA isn't one of my strongest tracks, so I have to put more time in.
Yeah, it's not many people's strongest tracks. I personally struggle on it. The track's too wide for me. I always pick the wrong line.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So congratulations to them, mate, second place. That's going to go down well with your teammate as well.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah, congratulations and have a good evening.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Keiran, on to James, yourself to close up as well.
I will have a quick chat with James. I've just noticed something, Dom. This podium was the exact same podium that we had in our IRL commentary debut. When we commentated in Suzuka 2 weeks ago, this was the exact same podium. Liverpool Ewan in P1, Botch Gerbil in P2. So for the second time since IRL Xbox has come back to Twitch, James, you're having a chat with us, P3. How do you think the race went for you?
Absolutely manic. Like, bloody manic. I had a feeling off the start. I knew that, like, HRC was having problems, and to be honest, I'd seen his pace beforehand. I thought there's no way he manages to keep that up without pens, which, fair play to him, he absolutely was. And yeah, without his issues, I think that there's no way, not a chance that anybody would have caught him really. But then yeah, as Ewan said, he had a poor start, and I was just determined to at least have like a bit of wheel to wheel. I think definitely questionable moment from my end, like lap 6 going into turn 3, pretty much lost the car. Verstappen, Ewan, and sort of pushed him off a bit. But then yeah, I ended up getting, I guess, the payback, if you will. I can't remember what lap it was when I went off, but basically just tried to be super late on the left at the start of sector 3, and Ewan just sort of like just clipped my front right with his rear, and obviously at that speed it just sort of sends you off. But I was lucky to not get any damage for it, and to be fair, it was just like the hard racing. So yeah, that part of it was all good.
Indeed. So as we said, penalties were playing a very, very large part in tonight's race. Were you at any point looking over your shoulder worrying whether the penalties you had were going to jeopardise where you were going to finish in the race?
I've actually got 5 seconds to come off my race time, because the incident that caused the safety car, I don't even know how to sum that up. Actually, well, I don't know. Did you guys see it or?
I caught it.
We did.
I caught
You
it.
did catch it.
It was
Okay.
brutal.
So, yeah. Basically, that ended up giving me a 5-second pen, which I was just serving drive-throughs, and basically now the IRL rules mean that like it gets taken off your race time, which can definitely be questionable in some cases. But yeah, and I think in the end to Botch Gerbil I was like 4.7. So unless like I've got any additional penalties coming my way, then it could end up meaning that me and Botch Gerbil swap. But yeah, I think sort of knowing after that safety car I had 5 seconds to come off, it sort of changed my race completely. Obviously I got the second 3-second pen, and I sort of knew at that point that okay, any chance I had to make up the time to Ewan was pretty much gone. So I kicked myself for that because it literally turned out to be the difference in the end. But yeah, so I wouldn't say I kind of had to look over my shoulder, luckily, especially with Raz behind having obviously like, you know, double digits seconds anyway.
Yeah, of course. I will quickly touch on one of the questions that Dom has said to the other two. I'm not keen on recycling questions, but I think it is only fair. We have got a week off now. We are taking our mid-season break here in IRL. USA, Circuit of the Americas, is our next race in 2 weeks' time. How do you fare normally around COTA? Is it a track that you're familiar with, a track you're happy with, or?
Definitely familiar with it. Happy with it, sort of a different matter. I think in general, on this year's game in particular, a lot of the tracks perform differently to what they're used to, and we know that like time penalties is such a major thing on this game, even compared to previous. So I think that first sector in particular, being able to have a consistent line is going to be absolute king. So yeah, I guess like I fare alright, but yeah, just the same as the other guys, it will definitely require a bit of dialing in. I've had a tendency to do essentially next to no practice, to the point where I've even just left sessions to grab a setup and come back. But yeah, I think as long as you dial in a bit, then it's absolutely fine.
Indeed. Well, massive congratulations for that P3, James, and hopefully we'll be able to speak to you on a podium again very, very soon.
No worries, thanks guys.
Thank you very much, Shid. So, as always, guys, a massive congratulations again to our podium here in Austria. This does now, however, bring us to the end of our broadcast this evening. A massive thank you to everyone who has joined us this evening in the chat and continue to show your support towards the Invictus Racing League. IRL Xbox is back on your screens this Thursday as Andrew and Dom take you through the action in the Realistic Performance League. IRL will then, as I said, take a week-long mid-season break. So, Dom and I will be back on your screens on Tuesday, the 23rd of March, so in 2 weeks' time, with the F1 Xbox League from the United States of America at the Circuit of the Americas. So, please join us then, but for more IRL racing action, be sure to head to that YouTube channel, youtube.com/InvictusRL. Follow us on Twitter @InvictusRL, on Instagram @InvictusRacingLeague, and be sure to check out the website InvictusRacingLeague.com. But until then, from myself, Keiran Wright 92 and Dom the Noodle, thank you for watching. Good night.